Money is not just paper or numbers on a screen. Money is energy, a form of flow that moves in response to intention, action, and belief. It is not something to chase frantically or hoard out of fear. It is something that can be understood, harnessed, and attracted when you learn how to align your inner world with the natural laws of abundance. Most people struggle with money, not because opportunities are scarce, but because their energy is blocked by limiting beliefs, fear, and confusion about what wealth really is. This book is an invitation to see money in a completely new way, to stop seeing it as a burden or a goal and start seeing it as energy that responds to your state of being, to your clarity, and to the steps you take in alignment with your highest purpose. Here you will discover practical methods to clear mental and emotional blocks, to focus your intentions, and to take inspired action that naturally attracts the resources you need. You will read real-life examples of people who shifted from scarcity to abundance, not through magic, but through understanding themselves and how energy works in the world. We'll also learn that attracting money is not about wishful thinking or empty affirmations. It is about cultivating awareness about your relationship with money and changing patterns that no longer serve you. It is about combining mindset and action in a way that feels authentic, empowering, and sustainable. By the end of this journey, you will understand that money is simply energy, and when you align with it, you do not have to chase it. It comes to you naturally and effortlessly. Throughout the chapters, you will explore how beliefs shape your financial reality, how clarity of intention guides energy, how gratitude and generosity amplify flow, and how resilience and discipline transform temporary wins into lasting abundance. You will be invited to practice exercises to feel your energy around money, to reflect on past experiences, and to create a plan that suits your life and your goals. This book is not just about getting rich. It is about understanding the principles that allow money to move freely in your life. It is about breaking free from fear, scarcity, and confusion, and stepping into a way of living where energy flows to you in alignment with your vision and effort. It is about learning the truth that money, like all energy, is responsive to alignment. And when you understand this, you can attract it consistently and consciously. Chapter 1: Understanding money as energy. In the beginning of every financial journey, there is a simple realization that changes the way a person sees the world. The realization is that money is not only coins, notes, or numbers inside a bank account. Money behaves like energy. It moves, it flows, it gathers around certain people and disappears from others. This movement is not random, and it is not magic. It is connected with human thinking, human effort, and the environment created by daily habits. Many people grow up believing that money is rare and difficult to obtain. They hear words of fear from their surroundings. Parents worry about bills. Neighbors complain about salaries, and news channels repeat stories about economic crisis. These messages slowly become beliefs, and those beliefs shape the energy a person carries about wealth. When someone believes that money is always escaping them, their actions often reflect hesitation, doubt, and fear. Imagine a young man named Armin who grew up in a small town where everyone believed that success belonged only to people in big cities. Armin heard many conversations about how difficult life was and how opportunities never came to ordinary families. Because of these ideas, Armin finished school with the belief that money was almost impossible to attract. He worked long hours in small jobs. Yet every month he felt that money vanished as quickly as it arrived. One day, Armin met an older shop owner who had built a comfortable life through patience and observation. The shop owner explained something simple. He said that money behaves like energy. It moves toward value, service, trust, and clarity. The shop owner explained that when people think only about survival, they often remain trapped in survival. But when they begin thinking about contribution and growth, their actions start creating different results. This idea slowly changed Armin's perspective. He started noticing how customers entered the shop not only to buy products, but to feel respected and welcome. The shop owner spoke kindly and solved problems quickly. Customers returned again and again, and every return created more financial flow. Armin realized that money was responding to the quality of interaction, effort, and mindset. Energy in nature always moves toward balance. Water flows toward open paths. Sunlight spreads toward open space. Wind moves across empty fields. Money behaves in a similar way. It flows where there is usefulness, creativity, trust, and consistency. When a person develops these qualities, opportunities begin appearing more frequently. Consider another example of a woman named Samina, who lived in a crowded neighborhood. She always dreamed of earning more, but believed that only highly educated people could achieve financial success. Samina loved cooking, but she never imagined that her skill could create income. One day, she decided to prepare homemade meals for a small group of office workers in her area. She started with a simple idea: prepare delicious, healthy food and deliver it with care. At first, only 3 people ordered meals, yet Samina treated each order with dedication. She woke early, selected fresh ingredients, and packed the food neatly. The customers appreciated her effort. They spoke about her meals to friends and colleagues. Slowly, the number of orders increased. Within a year, Samina's small kitchen became a busy home business that supported her entire family. Change in Samina's life did not appear suddenly or mysteriously. It appeared because she directed her energy toward value. She believed in her ability to help others through her cooking, and that belief guided her actions. Each positive action created trust. Each satisfied customer created momentum, and the energy of money began flowing toward her effort. When people hear the phrase "money is energy," some may imagine that it means thinking alone can create wealth, but the truth is deeper and more practical. Energy always requires movement. Thoughts create direction. Actions create momentum, and consistency creates flow. Without action, energy remains dormant. Think about a farmer preparing land for crops. The farmer cannot simply wish for harvest. The soil must be prepared, seeds must be planted, water must be given. Sunlight must reach the field, and time must pass during this process. The farmer works with natural energy. Growth happens because effort and environment align. Money follows a similar pattern. Another story can illustrate this principle. There was a young student named Imran who loved repairing electronics. He spent hours understanding how small devices worked, while his friends considered this hobby unimportant. Imran continued learning, experimenting, and improving his skill. After some time, neighbors began bringing broken phones, radios, and small machines for repair. Imran started charging small fees for his service, and soon he saved enough money to open a small repair shop. Imran's success came from aligning his interest, curiosity, and dedication. The energy he invested in learning became valuable to others. When value is created, money often follows, because money represents appreciation, exchange, and trust between people. Many successful individuals share a similar pattern. They observe problems, they develop solutions, and they provide service with sincerity. When people feel that a solution improves their lives, they willingly exchange money for that value. This exchange is the movement of financial energy. However, energy can also be blocked by negative thinking, fear, or constant doubt. Imagine a person who always says opportunities never come to me, or money always disappears from my life. Such statements influence behavior. The person may avoid learning new skills, may hesitate to start small projects, and may reject possibilities before even trying. Their energy becomes restricted and opportunities pass by unnoticed. Contrast this with someone who believes that learning effort and patience will eventually produce results. This person is more likely to explore ideas, connect with others, and try different paths even if the first attempts do not succeed. Their mindset keeps their energy active and flexible, which allows growth over time. Money energy also connects strongly with focus. When attention is scattered, results often remain scattered, but when attention becomes clear and directed, progress becomes visible. A student who decides to master a valuable skill, such as programming, design, teaching, or business management, invests energy in a focused direction. This focused effort often leads to higher opportunities, better income, and stronger confidence. Consider the journey of a teacher named Rahila, who worked in a small school with limited salary. She loved helping students understand complex subjects, but she wished to improve her financial condition. Instead of complaining, she began recording simple lessons and sharing them online. Her goal was not immediate money. Her goal was helping more students learn effectively. Students from different areas began watching her lessons and sharing them with friends. Eventually, educational platforms noticed her work and invited her to create structured courses. Her passion for teaching combined with consistent effort created new income streams. Rahila did not chase money directly. She focused on delivering value, and the energy of money followed her dedication. Understanding money as energy also means recognizing the importance of relationships, trust, and communication. People prefer doing business with individuals who show honesty, reliability, and respect. These qualities generate positive energy in interactions, and positive energy attracts collaboration, referrals, and growth. Imagine two shopkeepers selling similar products. The first shopkeeper greets customers, warmly explains products patiently, and offers fair prices. The second shopkeeper behaves with irritation and indifference. Even if both shops offer identical goods, customers naturally prefer the place where they feel valued. The flow of money follows the path of positive experience. Another important element of financial energy is gratitude. Gratitude changes the emotional state of a person from scarcity toward appreciation. When people appreciate what they already have, they become more open to opportunities and more motivated to use resources wisely. Gratitude does not replace hard work, but it strengthens the mindset required to continue working during challenges. Take the example of Bilal, who started a small printing service. He did not own expensive machines at the beginning, yet he felt grateful for every order he received. Instead of focusing on limitations, he focused on improving quality, meeting deadlines, and maintaining honesty. Customers trusted him, and gradually his business expanded, allowing him to purchase better equipment and hire assistants. Gratitude kept his energy constructive even during slow months when business was quiet. He used time to learn design software, improve marketing, and connect with local clients. Eventually, these efforts multiplied his income and reputation. Money energy also responds to discipline and patience. Some people expect immediate success and feel discouraged when results appear slowly, but energy systems in life often grow gradually. Trees grow slowly, businesses grow slowly, skills develop slowly. The person who continues investing effort with patience eventually sees stronger results than the person who gives up quickly. There is a famous example in many communities of street vendors who begin with simple carts selling tea, snacks, or fruit. Some of these vendors eventually build restaurants or grocery stores. because they treat their small work with seriousness. They observe customer needs, save money, carefully reinvest profits, and maintain relationships with buyers over many years. Their journey demonstrates that financial energy respects persistence. Each day of effort adds a small amount of progress, and over time, these small steps combine into significant change. Another dimension of money as energy is learning knowledge expands opportunity. When a person studies new methods, technologies, and strategies, their capacity to create value increases. Imagine two individuals working in the same field. One stops learning after basic training, while the other continues studying advanced techniques, attending workshops, and experimenting with new tools. Over time, the second person becomes more capable, more innovative, and more valuable to employers or clients. As value increases, financial rewards often increase, because money moves toward usefulness, efficiency, and creativity. Learning, therefore, acts as fuel for financial energy. Community also plays a role in the movement of money. Energy supportive networks introduce opportunities, partnerships, and ideas. Many successful ventures begin with collaboration between individuals who share vision, trust, and effort. For example, a photographer, a writer, and a designer may collaborate to create a digital magazine. Each person contributes unique skills. Together, they produce something greater than any single person could achieve alone. The revenue generated from their project becomes shared financial energy, resulting from collective contribution. People isolate themselves from others. They sometimes limit their exposure to opportunities, but when they engage with communities, attend discussions, and exchange ideas, they create pathways for energy to circulate. At the heart of this chapter lies a powerful understanding. Money is not merely an object. Money represents movement of appreciation, trust, value, and service. When a person aligns thoughts, effort, learning, relationships, and discipline, the flow of financial energy becomes stronger. This understanding does not promise instant riches or effortless success. Life contains uncertainty, competition, and occasional failure. Yet people who understand money as energy approach these challenges differently. They remain open to improvement. They search for creative solutions, and they continue refining their actions. Armin eventually used the lessons from the shop owner to start a small service business. He focused on solving everyday problems for customers and maintained honesty in every transaction. His income did not grow overnight, but over time, his reputation attracted more clients and stable financial growth. Samina expanded her cooking service into a small restaurant where families gathered for homemade meals. Rahila teaching courses reached thousands of students across different regions. Imran repair shop evolved into a technology service center, employing young apprentices from his neighborhood. These stories share a common theme. People directed their energy toward useful actions, maintained belief in their abilities, and served others sincerely as their aim. Value increased. Money followed naturally. Understanding money as energy is the first step toward transforming the relationship people have with wealth. It encourages awareness, responsibility, and creativity instead of fear and limitation. When individuals recognize that their thoughts, actions, and habits influence financial flow, they begin taking control of their economic destiny. Chapter 2: Clearing Inner Energy for Abundance. After understanding that money behaves like energy, the next step is learning how to clear the inner space where that energy flows, because every person carries invisible patterns of belief, emotion, and memory, and these patterns quietly influence financial reality. Many people try to change their income without first changing the inner energy that guides their decisions and reactions. When inner energy is filled with fear, doubt, shame, or guilt about money, The flow of financial opportunity often becomes restricted. A person may work hard, yet still feel stuck, because deep inside they carry messages learned during childhood or painful experiences from the past. These hidden messages create resistance even when opportunities appear. Imagine a man named Kareem who worked as a skilled carpenter. His hands were talented, and his work was admired by customers. Yet Kareem always charged very low prices for his furniture. He felt uncomfortable asking for higher payment because he believed that people would think he was greedy. This belief came from childhood memories, where relatives criticized wealthy people and described money as something negative. Because of this hidden belief, Kareem continued working long hours, but struggled to save money. One day, a friend who owned a small furniture store asked Kareem why he never raised his prices. Kareem answered that customers would leave if he charged more. The friend explained that quality work deserves fair exchange, and that charging too little can harm both the worker and the customer. The friend encouraged Kareem to reflect on his beliefs about money. Kareem began thinking deeply about the messages he had carried for many years. He realized that he had unconsciously connected money with guilt and fear. Once he understood this pattern, he slowly began adjusting his mindset. He started valuing his skill and respecting the time and effort he invested in each piece of furniture. Kareem changed his inner energy. He also changed his behavior. He improved the presentation of his work, communicated confidently with customers, and explained the craftsmanship behind each product. Customers did not reject the new prices. Instead, many appreciated the honesty and quality, and his income gradually improved. This story shows that inner beliefs can quietly shape financial outcomes. When a person clears limiting beliefs, the path for financial energy becomes wider. Another common block that prevents abundance is the habit of constant comparison. Many people look at others who appear more successful and begin feeling inadequate. These feelings reduce motivation and create negative energy, which can weaken focus and creativity. Consider the experience of Nadia, who worked as a graphic designer. She spent hours scrolling through social media looking at the portfolios of famous designers. Each time she compared her work with theirs, she felt discouraged and believed she could never achieve similar success. These thoughts slowly drained her enthusiasm, and she stopped promoting her own work. One evening, Nadia attended a local creative gathering where artists discussed their journeys. She discovered that many successful designers had faced the same doubts during their early years. They explained that growth happens step by step through practice, learning, and patience. Hearing these stories helped Nadia shift her thinking. She stopped comparing herself to distant experts and instead focused on improving her own skills every day. She began sharing her designs online again, accepting small projects and learning from feedback. Gradually, her confidence returned and her client base expanded. By clearing the emotional block of comparison, Nadia reopened the path for opportunities. Her energy moved from discouragement toward curiosity and progress, and this shift allowed financial growth to follow. Another powerful element of clearing inner energy is forgiveness. Resentment toward past events can quietly drain motivation. Imagine a person who once trusted a business partner and experienced betrayal. The pain of that experience may cause the person to avoid future collaborations, even when trustworthy partners appear. This situation happened to a young entrepreneur named Samir. He once invested in a small venture with a friend, but the partnership failed due to poor communication and financial loss. Samir felt angry and decided never to work with anyone again. For several years, he attempted to manage every project alone, but his progress remained limited because he refused to trust others. One day, Samir attended a workshop about entrepreneurship where a mentor spoke about the importance of releasing resentment. The mentor explained that holding anger keeps energy tied to the past, while forgiveness releases that energy so it can move forward. Samir began reflecting on the experience. He realized that the failed partnership had taught him valuable lessons about agreements, transparency, and planning. He gradually released the anger and allowed himself to trust carefully again later. He formed a new partnership with clear communication and shared vision, and this collaboration helped his business grow significantly. Forgiveness did not erase the past, but it cleared the emotional barrier that had blocked future progress. Another inner block that affects financial energy is fear of failure. Many people have ideas, talents, and dreams, but they hesitate to take action because they worry about mistakes. Yet every successful person has experienced setbacks along the path. Failure is often a teacher that guides improvement. A student named Aisha dreamed of opening a small online clothing store. She loved fashion and creativity, but every time she considered starting the business, she imagined the possibility of losing money or facing criticism. These fears kept her stuck in hesitation for many months. One day, Aisha spoke with her aunt, who had run a tailoring shop for decades. The aunt shared stories about early mistakes, such as ordering the wrong fabric, misjudging customer demand, and struggling during slow seasons. Yet, she explained that each mistake taught her something valuable. Hearing these stories helped Aisha realize that failure is not a permanent identity, but a temporary step in learning. She decided to begin with a small collection of handmade scarves and promoted them through friends and local events. The first sales were modest, yet the experience gave her confidence and valuable knowledge about customer preferences. Over time, Aisha improved her designs, expanded her product range, and created a stable online store. Her progress began when she cleared the fear that had blocked her action. Clearing inner energy also involves developing self-respect. When people undervalue themselves, they may accept unfair treatment, underpayment, or unhealthy work environments. Self-respect encourages individuals to pursue opportunities that reflect their true potential. Take the example of Hamid, who worked in a small technology company. He had strong programming skills, yet he rarely spoke about his ideas during meetings because he believed that others were more intelligent. This silence prevented him from receiving recognition for his contributions. After attending a professional development seminar, Hamid realized that confidence often grows through practice. He began sharing his ideas in small ways, first by suggesting improvements in team discussions, then by presenting solutions to technical problems. His colleagues appreciated his insights, and management soon recognized his abilities, leading to a promotion and higher income. By strengthening self-respect, Hamid cleared a barrier that had limited his professional and financial growth. Gratitude also plays an important role in clearing inner energy. Many people focus only on what they lack, which creates feelings of scarcity, but gratitude shifts attention toward existing resources, skills, relationships, and opportunities. This positive focus increases motivation and creativity. Consider the life of Miriam, who worked as a nurse in a busy hospital. Her salary was modest, and she often felt overwhelmed by responsibilities. One evening, she decided to begin a simple habit. Every night, she wrote down 3 things she felt grateful for. Sometimes it was the smile of a patient, sometimes the support of a colleague, sometimes the simple fact that she had meaningful work. This practice gradually changed her outlook. Mariam began noticing possibilities she had previously ignored. She enrolled in advanced training programs and eventually specialized in a field that offered better career prospects. Her income improved, but more importantly, her sense of purpose and confidence grew. Stronger gratitude cleared emotional heaviness and opened space for new energy to enter her life. Another way to clear inner energy is through learning to manage stress and mental clutter. When the mind is constantly overloaded with worry, it becomes difficult to recognize opportunities. Calm reflection helps individuals think creatively and make balanced decisions. A businessman named Farouk once struggled with constant anxiety about market competition. He spent sleepless nights worrying about every possible problem. Eventually, a mentor advised him to dedicate time each morning for quiet reflection and planning. Farouk began spending 30 minutes each day reviewing priorities, writing ideas, and organizing tasks. Simple routine reduced mental chaos and allowed him to focus on meaningful strategies. He discovered new partnerships, improved marketing, and strengthened customer relationships. As his clarity increased, his business performance improved as well. Clearing inner energy does not mean ignoring real-world challenges. Instead, it means preparing the mind and emotions so they can respond wisely rather than react with fear. Throughout life, people collect experiences that shape their attitudes toward money. Some of these experiences encourage growth, while others create limitations. The purpose of clearing inner energy is to examine these patterns and keep only those that support progress. When individuals release guilt, fear, resentment, comparison, and self-doubt, they create a mental environment where creativity, confidence, and discipline can thrive. This environment naturally attracts opportunities because people with clear energy often communicate more effectively, build stronger relationships, and act with greater determination. Think of inner energy like a river. If the river is filled with obstacles, the water moves slowly or becomes stagnant. But when obstacles are removed, the water flows freely and nourishes the land around it. Financial energy behaves in a similar way. It flows more easily when emotional barriers are cleared. Kareem released guilt about earning fair payment. Nadia overcame comparison. Samir let go of resentment. Aisha moved beyond fear. Hamid strengthened self-respect. Mariam practiced gratitude, and Farouk created mental clarity. Each of them removed an internal obstacle and allowed new opportunities to appear. These stories show abundance often begins with inner transformation before outer results become visible. When people clear their inner energy, they create a strong foundation for the practical strategies that follow. Chapter 3. The power of intention and focus. After clearing inner energy, the next powerful force that shapes financial reality is intention. Intention is the direction that guides energy toward a goal. Without intention, effort becomes scattered and results remain uncertain. But when intention becomes clear, the mind begins to organize thoughts, actions, and opportunities in a meaningful path. Many people move through life without clearly deciding what they truly want. They may wish for more money, better work, or greater freedom, but these wishes remain vague. And undefined, vague desires often produce vague outcomes because the mind lacks direction. Intention is different from a simple wish. Intention is a conscious decision about where energy will be invested and why that direction matters. When a person forms a clear intention, the mind begins to notice possibilities that were previously ignored. Imagine a young man named Zain who worked in a small electronics shop repairing household appliances. He performed his tasks every day, yet he never thought Deeply about his long-term future one evening, he attended a community seminar where a speaker asked the audience a simple question. What do you truly want your work to become in the next 5 years? The question stayed in Zane's mind for many days. He realized that he had never formed a clear vision. He only reacted to daily tasks. Without planning a future finally, he decided that he wanted to build his own electronics service center where people could repair modern devices, learn technical skills, and receive honest guidance. Once Zane formed this intention, his behavior began to change. He started studying advanced electronics in his free time. He saved part of his salary. He spoke with experienced technicians and learned about customer service management and small business operations. His daily actions slowly aligned with the direction he had chosen. Within 3 years, Zane opened a small workshop. It began with limited equipment, yet his clarity and dedication attracted loyal customers. The workshop later expanded into a respected service center that trained young technicians from the young community. Zane's transformation began not with money, but with intention. When his mind gained direction, his energy followed that path. Focuses closely connected with intention. Intention chooses the destination. Focus maintains attention on the journey. Without focus, many people start projects with enthusiasm, but soon become distracted by doubts, new trends, or temporary challenges. Consider the story of a student named Layla who dreamed of becoming a successful writer. She loved storytelling and imagined publishing books one day, yet every time she started writing, she became distracted by other activities. Sometimes she tried learning photography. Sometimes she considered studying marketing. Sometimes she abandoned writing for months. Because her attention constantly shifted, she struggled to complete any serious project until one day a mentor advised her to dedicate a specific period of time each day exclusively for writing. Layla decided to spend 2 hours every morning focused on her craft without interruption. At first, the habit felt difficult, but over time, her concentration strengthened. She completed short stories, then longer manuscripts. Eventually, one of her stories gained attention from a local publisher, and her writing career slowly developed. Layla's success did not appear through sudden luck. It emerged through focused energy directed toward a clear intention. Power of intention and focus can also be seen in the world of entrepreneurship. Many successful businesses began with a simple but clear idea, combined with unwavering attention. A powerful example is the journey of a woman named Farah, who noticed that many families in her neighborhood struggled to find reliable childcare services. She had experience working with children and felt passionate about early education. Instead of waiting for perfect circumstances, she formed a clear intention to create a safe, nurturing childcare center. Farah started by studying child development, reading books, and speaking with experienced educators. She volunteered in local schools to learn practical methods. She also saved money gradually to prepare for her future center. For several years, her intention remained steady, even when progress seemed slow. Finally, she rented a small building and opened a modest child care service. Parents appreciated her dedication and the supportive environment she created. Word spread quickly, and the center grew steadily. Farah focused intention helped transform an observation into a thriving community service that also provided financial stability for her family. Intention also shapes how people interpret challenges. When individuals lack direction, obstacles often feel like signs to give up. But when intention is strong, obstacles become lessons that strengthen determination. Think about the story of Solomon, who wanted to build a small online store selling handmade leather products. He began with enthusiasm, but faced many difficulties, including shipping delays, supplier problems, and limited marketing knowledge. At first, Salman felt discouraged, but his intention remained strong. He reminded himself why he had started the project. He wanted to support local craftsmen and build a meaningful business. Instead of quitting, he studied online marketing, improved product photography, and developed better communication with suppliers. Slowly, his persistence paid off. Customers began appreciating the quality of his products, and his store gained recognition. In different regions, Salman's experience shows that intention provides emotional strength during uncertain moments. It reminds individuals of their purpose and keeps energy moving forward. Visualization is another tool that strengthens intention. When people clearly imagine the future they want, their mind becomes more prepared to recognize opportunities connected with that vision. Visualization does not replace effort, but it enhances clarity and motivation. A teacher named Hina practiced this method when she wanted to expand her educational programs. She often imagined classrooms filled with curious students engaged in creative learning activities. This mental image inspired her to design innovative lessons, seek funding for educational materials, and collaborate with other educators. Her vision eventually became reality as her programs gained popularity among schools and community centers. Visualization helped maintain her focus and enthusiasm even when resources were limited. Another important aspect of intention is alignment with personal values. When financial goals conflict with values, motivation becomes weak. But when goals reflect meaningful purpose, energy becomes stronger and more sustainable. Consider the journey of Rashid, who studied engineering but felt more passionate about environmental protection. He initially worked in a large construction company, earning a comfortable salary, yet he felt unfulfilled because the projects often ignored environmental concerns. After careful reflection, Rashid decided to focus his career on sustainable design. He continued learning about renewable energy, eco-friendly materials, and green architecture. His intention shifted from simply earning money to creating solutions that protect the environment. Eventually, he founded a consultancy that helped organizations design environmentally responsible buildings. His work gained respect and financial success because it aligned with both his skills and his deeper values. Rashid's story demonstrates that intention becomes powerful when it connects personal passion with practical contribution. Focus also requires the ability to ignore unnecessary distractions. In the modern world, information flows constantly through devices, media, and social platforms. While some information can inspire learning, excessive distraction often weakens productivity. A young programmer named Danish experienced this challenge. He wanted to develop a software application that could simplify budgeting for small businesses, yet he often spent hours browsing unrelated content online. Realizing that his attention was scattered, he decided to create structured work periods where his phone remained silent and his internet usage was limited to essential research. These focus sessions allowed Danish to make steady progress. Within months, he completed the first version of his application, which later attracted users from different cities. By protecting his attention, Danish transformed an idea into a functional product that generated income and recognition. Another dimension of intention involves patience. Many goals require time to mature, just as seeds require time to grow into trees. When individuals maintain clear intention over long periods, their efforts accumulate into powerful momentum. An inspiring example comes from a craftsman named Yusuf, who specialized in traditional pottery. He spent years refining his designs and techniques. Even when demand for handmade pottery seemed limited, He continued improving because his intention was not only to earn money, but to preserve cultural artistry. Gradually, tourists, collectors, and art enthusiasts began appreciating the uniqueness of his work. His pottery reached galleries and exhibitions around the world. What once seemed like a modest craft evolved into an internationally respected art business. Eyes of steady intention allowed his skill to develop until the world recognized its value. These stories reveal a common truth: intention provides direction, focus provides strength. Together, they guide energy toward meaningful outcomes. When individuals decide clearly what they wish to build and maintain attention on that goal, their daily actions begin forming a path toward success. It is important to remember that intention does not eliminate uncertainty. Life will always contain unexpected changes, economic shifts, and personal challenges. However, people with strong intention adapt more effectively because they understand the deeper purpose behind their efforts. When obstacles appear, they adjust strategies while continuing to move toward their vision. This resilience allows them to transform setbacks into stepping stones. Zain created his service center. Layla completed her writing. Farah built a childcare community. Salman grew his online store. Hina expanded her educational programs. Rashid aligned engineering with environmental care. Danish developed useful software, and Yusuf preserved traditional pottery through dedication. Each story demonstrates how clear intention combined with focused action can attract opportunities, resources, and financial growth. Money as energy responds strongly to clarity because clarity organizes effort and reveals value. When people know what they are building, they communicate that vision more effectively, attract collaborators, and recognize possibilities that support their mission. Chapter 4: Inspired Action. The bridge between vision and reality. Intention and focus create direction, but direction alone cannot build results. Energy becomes powerful when it moves through action. Action transforms ideas into visible progress and connects dreams with the real world. Many people spend years imagining a better financial future, yet they hesitate to act. They wait for perfect timing, complete knowledge, or absolute certainty. But perfection rarely appears before movement. The people who attract opportunity are often the ones who begin with small steps and learn while moving forward. Inspired action is different from forced activity. Forced activity often feels heavy, exhausting, and disconnected from purpose. Inspired action comes from clarity and belief. It is the natural movement that follows when a person understands what they want and trusts their ability to grow through effort. Imagine the journey of a young woman named Sana, who always loved creating handmade jewelry. She spent many evenings designing bracelets, necklaces, and small ornaments. For her friends often encouraged her to sell her creations. But Sana believed that her hobby was not serious enough to become a business. One day, she attended a local craft exhibition and noticed many artists presenting handmade products. She realized that people appreciated originality and personal creativity. This experience sparked an idea inside her. She decided to take a small step and prepare a collection of jewelry pieces for the next community market. Sana spent weeks refining her designs, selecting better materials, and preparing a simple display for her table. During the market day, she felt nervous, but she also felt proud of her work. Several visitors admired her creations, and some purchased pieces for gifts. The income was not large, but the experience changed her perspective. That single action opened a door. Sana learned how customers reacted to her designs. She discovered which styles attracted attention and which materials felt most comfortable to wear. Over the following months, she continued participating in markets, improving her craft and gradually building a loyal group of customers. Eventually, she created an online store where people from different cities ordered her jewelry. What began as a hobby transformed into a growing business because Sana moved from intention to inspired action. Another example can be seen in the life of Tariq, who worked as a delivery driver. He spent many hours traveling through the city, observing small shops, restaurants, and offices along his routes. He often noticed how many businesses struggled with organizing their deliveries and managing logistics. Instead of ignoring this observation, Tariq became curious. He began studying basic supply chain methods through books and online lessons. He also spoke with shop owners to understand their challenges. One evening, he developed a simple plan to offer delivery coordination services for small businesses. Tariq started with only a notebook, a phone, and strong determination. He approached a few local stores and offered to organize their daily deliveries more efficiently. The store owners appreciated his dedication, and soon more businesses requested his help. Within 2 years, Tariq built a small logistics company, employing several drivers and using digital tools to manage routes. His success did not come from waiting for opportunity. It came from observing problems and taking inspired action to create solutions. Inspired action often begins with simple curiosity. People who ask questions explore possibilities and test ideas, discover paths that others overlook. Consider the story of a university student named Adil who studied computer science. He noticed that many small shops in his town still relied on paper records to track sales and inventory. This system often created confusion and errors. Instead of simply noticing the problem, Adil decided to build a simple digital application that could help shopkeepers manage their records more easily. He spent evenings coding a basic program and testing it with a local grocery store. The shop owner appreciated how the application simplified daily tasks and recommended it to other store owners. Soon several businesses were using Adil's software and paying small subscription fees. The project that began as a student experiment evolved into a profitable service. Adil action turned an observation into innovation. His willingness to try allowed financial energy to flow toward his skills. Inspired action also requires courage because every new step carries uncertainty. People may question ideas, markets may change, and mistakes may occur. Yet progress often belongs to those who accept temporary discomfort in order to grow. A powerful illustration comes from a teacher named Shazia who believed that many children in her community lacked access to creative learning experiences. She dreamed of organizing weekend workshops where children could explore art, science, storytelling, and practical skills. At first, Shazia doubted whether parents would support such programs, but instead of waiting for certainty, she decided to begin with a small experiment. She rented a classroom for one weekend and invited families to participate in a creative learning day. The response was encouraging. Parents appreciated the engaging activities and children enjoyed the experience. Shazia continued organizing workshops each month and eventually established a community learning center that attracted support from educators, volunteers, and local organizations. Journey demonstrates that inspired action transforms vision into movement. Movement attracts support, and support creates growth. Key aspect of inspired action is consistency. A single effort may open a door, but repeated effort builds a path. Consistency signals commitment and reliability, qualities that encourage others to trust and collaborate. Take the example of Imran, who loved fitness and healthy living. He began sharing simple exercise routines and nutrition advice with friends who wanted to improve their health. They appreciated his enthusiasm and suggested that he create online content to reach more people. Imran started recording short videos demonstrating practical exercises. He posted them regularly and answered questions from viewers. At first, his audience was small, but his consistency slowly built credibility. People recognized his genuine interest in helping others. After some time, fitness brands noticed his growing community and offered partnerships for promoting wellness products. Imran's passion, combined with consistent action, transformed his knowledge into both influence and financial opportunity. Inspired action also includes learning from feedback. Not every attempt will succeed immediately, yet each experience offers information that guides improvement. Consider the journey of Noman, who opened a small cafe. He imagined that customers would enjoy traditional recipes served in a modern setting. During the first month's business was slow. Instead of giving up, Noman began asking customers for honest feedback. Some visitors suggested adding comfortable seating, others recommended introducing breakfast options and improving lighting inside the cafe. Noman listened carefully and made gradual adjustments. Within a year, the cafe atmosphere became more welcoming and customer visits increased significantly. Noman's willingness to learn from experience allowed his business to evolve and attract steady income. Another dimension of inspired action involves collaboration. Sometimes progress accelerates when individuals combine strengths with others who share similar goals. A photographer named Ikra once dreamed of creating a platform where local artists could display their work. She realized that organizing such a project alone would be difficult, so she invited a writer, a graphic designer, and a marketing student to join her idea. Together, they launched an online magazine featuring photography stories and creative articles. The collaboration allowed each person to contribute unique skills, and the publication gained popularity among readers interested in art and culture. Advertising partnerships later provided financial support for the project. This collaboration began with one inspired action, inviting others to participate in a shared vision. Inspired action does not always require large investments. Sometimes it begins with simple habits practiced every day. A student who dedicates time to mastering a skill, a worker who consistently improves service quality, an entrepreneur who studies customer needs. Each of these actions strengthens the flow of opportunity. Think about the life of an elderly tailor named Bashir, who had spent decades sewing clothes for families in his neighborhood. Even as modern fashion brands appeared, Bashir continued improving his craftsmanship and maintaining personal relationships with customers. He listened carefully to their preferences and delivered garments with precision. His dedication earned deep trust within the community, and even younger generations chose his tailoring service because of his reputation. Bashir income remained stable, not because of advertising or technology, but because his consistent inspired action created lasting value. When individuals combine intention, focus, and inspired action, they create a powerful cycle. Ideas lead to steps. Produce learning. Learning encourages improvement, and improvement attracts opportunity. Financial energy responds to this cycle because money naturally flows toward people who create solutions, demonstrate commitment, and provide reliable value. Sana turned creativity into a jewelry business. Tariq transformed observation into logistics services. Adil converted programming skills into useful software. Shazia built a learning center through courageous experimentation. Imran created a health community through consistent content. Noman improved his cafe through customer feedback. Ikra built an artistic platform through collaboration, and Bashir maintained a respected craft through lifelong dedication. These journeys show that inspired action does not demand perfection. It requires willingness to begin, willingness to learn, and willingness to continue even when results appear slowly. Money as energy moves toward momentum. When individuals act with sincerity and persistence, the world gradually responds through opportunities, connections, and growth. Chapter 5. The Abundance Mindset. After learning about intention, focus, and inspired action, another powerful force that shapes financial energy is the mindset a person carries about the world. Mindset quietly influences how people see opportunity, how they respond to challenges, and how they interact with money and resources too. People may live in the same city, work in the same field, and face similar circumstances, yet their results can be very different. Often the difference begins inside their thinking patterns. Some individuals believe that life offers endless possibilities, while others believe that success is limited and reserved for only a few. The first perspective is known as an abundance mindset. The second is known as a scarcity mindset. Scarcity thinking is rooted in fear. It whispers that there is not enough opportunity, not enough money, not enough success to go around. People with this mindset often worry that someone else's success reduces their own chances. They may hesitate to share ideas, collaborate, or celebrate the achievements of others in abundance. Mindset sees the world differently. It recognizes that creativity, knowledge, and cooperation can generate new opportunities. Every day, people with this perspective believe that value can always be created and that growth is possible even in challenging environments. To understand this contrast, imagine two friends named Fahad and Haris, who both worked as mechanics in a small automobile repair shop. Both men had similar training and experience, yet their attitudes toward the future were very different. Fahad often complained about the economy. He believed that customers were becoming fewer and that there was no space for improvement. He worked only the minimum hours required and spent much of his time worrying about job security. Haris, on the other hand, believed that the demand for reliable mechanics would always exist because vehicles were an essential part of modern life. He decided to expand his knowledge by learning about newer car technologies and diagnostic systems. He attended training workshops and studied manuals during his free time. When a nearby transport company needed a mechanic who understood modern engines, Haris' knowledge made him the natural choice. He received a better position and higher income, while Fahad remained in the same situation, feeling frustrated. The difference between them was not luck or talent. It was mindset. Haris believed in growth and possibility, while Fahad focused on limitation and fear. Another example can be seen in the journey of a woman named Lubna, who sold vegetables in a local market. Many vendors around her believed that the market was becoming too competitive and that profits would continue shrinking. Lubna, however, viewed the situation differently. She believed that customers always appreciate quality and service. She began organizing her stall, neatly offering fresh produce and greeting every customer warmly. She also started sharing simple cooking tips with buyers who asked how to prepare certain vegetables. These small actions created a friendly and trustworthy atmosphere. Customers began choosing her stall, even when other vendors offered similar prices. Over time, Lubna expanded her stall and even supplied vegetables to nearby restaurants. Her abundance mindset encouraged her to focus on improvement instead of fear, which allowed financial energy to grow in her life. The abundance mindset also encourages generosity. Generosity does not mean giving away everything without wisdom. It means understanding that sharing knowledge, Kindness and support often strengthens relationships and creates new opportunities. Consider the experience of a teacher named Omar who worked in a community school. He believed strongly in helping young students discover their potential. Even though his salary was modest, he freely shared learning resources with other teachers and organized study groups for students who needed extra help. Some people wondered why he invested so much effort without expecting immediate reward, yet Omar believed that contributing to others would eventually create positive outcomes. Years later, several of his former students achieved professional success and remembered his dedication. Some invited him to participate in educational projects and training programs, which increased both his influence and financial stability. Omar's generosity created a network of gratitude and respect that returned benefits in unexpected ways. Abundance thinking also transforms how people view mistakes in a scarcity mindset. Mistakes are seen as proof of failure, but in an abundance mindset, mistakes become valuable lessons. A young entrepreneur named Yasser experienced this truth when he opened his first clothing store. He invested his savings in fashionable designs, but underestimated customer preferences, and the store struggled during the first season. Instead of believing that he had failed permanently, Yasser studied what went wrong. He spoke with customers, analyzed sales patterns, and learned about local trends. He adjusted his product selection, improved store layout, and introduced better marketing strategies. During the next season, his store performed much better because he treated mistakes as teachers rather than defeats. The abundance mindset also strengthens collaboration. People who believe in possibility are more willing to work together, share ideas, and build partnerships because they understand that cooperation often multiplies results. A good illustration is the story of three young graduates named Nida, Kamran, and Bilal, who shared an interest in digital media. Instead of competing for the same small opportunities, they decided to create a collaborative studio where they offered photography, design, and video production services together. Each person contributed different strengths. Nida specialized in photography. Kamran handled editing and video production, while Bilal focused on marketing and client relations. Their combined abilities allowed them to accept larger projects than any of them could manage alone. Their studio gradually gained recognition among local businesses and events. The abundance mindset encouraged them to see partnership as expansion rather than competition. Another aspect of abundance thinking is gratitude for progress. Many people wait for large achievements before feeling satisfied, but individuals with an abundance mindset appreciate small victories because they understand that great success often grows from many small steps. Take the example of a young baker named Asma who started selling homemade cakes from her kitchen. During the early days, she received only a few orders each week, yet instead of feeling discouraged, she celebrated every satisfied customer. She used each order as an opportunity to refine her recipes, improve decoration, and build reputation. Customers began recommending her cakes for birthdays, weddings, and celebrations. Gradually, her small kitchen business transformed into a popular bakery. Her appreciation for each stage of growth helped maintain motivation and positive energy. The abundance mindset also changes how people interpret the success of others. Instead of feeling jealousy, they feel inspiration. They study successful individuals to understand what habits, strategies, and attitudes help them succeed. A student named Raza once felt discouraged when he saw classmates receiving scholarships and career opportunities. He believed that their achievements reduced his own chances, but after reflecting on his mindset, He decided to view their success as proof that opportunities existed. He began asking them about their study techniques, preparation methods, and professional goals. Their advice helped him improve his own habits, and eventually he earned a scholarship. As well, by shifting from jealousy to curiosity, Reza opened the door for his own advancement. Abundance thinking also supports long-term planning. People with this mindset are more willing to invest time in learning, saving, and developing skills because they believe that future opportunities will reward their preparation. A farmer named Khalid demonstrated this principle when he decided to experiment with modern irrigation techniques. Many farmers in his region believed that new systems were expensive and risky, yet Khalid studied agricultural methods and slowly introduced efficient watering systems on his land. The improved irrigation increased crop yield and reduced water waste. Eventually, other farmers visited his fields to learn from his example, and he even began advising agricultural groups in nearby areas. His abundance mindset encouraged innovation and patience, which produced both financial and environmental benefits. Another powerful quality of the abundance mindset is resilience. Resilient people recover from difficulties more quickly because they believe that setbacks are temporary chapters rather than permanent endings. A woman named Parveen experienced this when a flood damaged her small textile shop. Many shop owners in the area lost hope and closed their businesses. But Parveen believed that rebuilding was possible. She organized community support, cleaned the damaged space, and restarted her business with determination. Customers admired her courage and returned to support her shop. Over time, her business recovered and became stronger than before. Her mindset allowed her to transform hardship into renewal. Abundance thinking does not ignore reality. Challenges still exist. Markets change, resources fluctuate, and competition grows. Yet, people with this mindset approach problems with creativity. Rather than fear, they search for solutions, partnerships, and improvements instead of surrendering to doubt. Fahid and Haris showed how mindset shapes career growth. Lubna demonstrated how positivity can attract customers. Omar revealed how generosity builds networks. Yasser proved that mistakes can lead to wisdom. Nida, Kamran, and Bilal illustrated the power of collaboration. Azma showed the strength of appreciating small progress. Rasa turned comparison into learning. Khalid used innovation to improve agriculture, and Parveen rebuilt her business through resilience. Each story reflects a central truth: abundance begins with perception. When individuals believe that value can always be created, their actions become more confident, inventive, and persistent. These actions generate opportunities, and financial energy follows naturally. Abundance mindset, therefore, becomes a powerful companion to intention, focus, and inspired action. Together, these elements create a strong foundation for attracting prosperity while maintaining purpose and integrity. Chapter 6: The flow of giving and receiving money. As energy does not remain still, it moves through cycles of giving and receiving. Just like water flowing through rivers and rain, returning to the earth, when money circulates, it creates growth, opportunity, and connection between people. When it becomes trapped by fear or selfishness, the flow weakens and opportunities begin to shrink. Many people believe that wealth grows only through accumulation. They imagine that the more tightly they hold money, the more secure their future will become. Yet history and daily life show another truth: prosperity often expands when resources are shared wisely, and when people contribute value to the lives of others. Does not mean losing wealth. Giving means participating in the natural movement of energy. When a person offers knowledge, help, kindness, or resources, they strengthen Relationships and trust. These connections often return opportunities in ways that cannot always be predicted. Imagine the life of a shopkeeper named Rahman, who owned a small grocery store in a busy neighborhood. His shop was modest, yet he believed strongly in treating customers with respect and generosity. When elderly customers visited his store, he sometimes helped them carry their groceries to their homes. And when a struggling family needed food during difficult times, he quietly allowed them to pay later. Some people advised Rahman to stop helping so freely because they believed it reduced his profit. But Rahman understood something deeper. He knew that kindness creates loyalty, and loyalty builds long-lasting relationships over time. Customers trusted Rahman's store more than any other shop in the area. They recommended his business to friends and relatives, and when new families moved into the neighborhood, his store was often the first place they visited. Rahman's generosity strengthened the energy around his business, and the financial flow grew naturally through community trust. Another example of the giving and receiving cycle can be seen in the journey of a young doctor named Samia, who began her career in a crowded hospital. She noticed that many patients in rural areas could not travel easily for medical advice. Instead of focusing only on her hospital work, Samia decided to organize monthly health awareness visits in nearby villages. She offered basic checkups, guidance on hygiene, and advice about preventing common illnesses. These visits were not designed to generate income, yet they created a powerful connection with the community. Villagers began respecting her dedication, and many later visited her clinic in the city when they needed advanced treatment. Samia's generosity created both social impact and professional growth. Her reputation expanded, and her medical practice became more successful because people trusted her sincerity. The flow of giving and receiving also appears in the world of business. Collaboration. Companies often grow stronger when they support each other rather than competing blindly. Consider the story of two entrepreneurs named Danish and Huma, who owned separate businesses. Danish managed a small printing service, while Huma operated a marketing agency. Both worked with local companies, but often faced challenges finding new clients. One day, they decided to cooperate. Danish recommended Huma marketing services to his printing customers, while Huma suggested Danish printing services to her clients. This mutual support increased opportunities for both businesses because each entrepreneur expanded the network of the other. Their partnership showed that sharing opportunities does not reduce success, it multiplies it through cooperation, and trust. Giving also includes sharing knowledge. Knowledge grows stronger when it spreads. Teachers, mentors, and experienced professionals who guide others often discover that their own understanding deepens through teaching. A retired engineer named Bashara once began offering free technical workshops for young students who wanted to learn about machines and mechanics. He used simple tools and practical demonstrations to explain how engines and devices worked. The students admired his dedication, and many later pursued engineering careers. Several of them eventually invited Bashara to participate in educational projects and consulting roles. His willingness to share knowledge opened new chapters of professional engagement and financial reward. Cycle of giving and receiving often works quietly yet powerfully. Kindness, generosity, and contribution create emotional bonds that money alone cannot buy. These bonds encourage cooperation, referrals, and loyalty, which eventually strengthen prosperity. However, it is important to understand that giving must be balanced with wisdom. Generosity should come from sincerity, not from pressure or the desire to impress others. Wise giving respects personal limits and ensures that resources are shared responsibly. Take the example of a farmer named Elias who enjoyed helping neighbors during planting and harvest seasons. He often lent tools, shared seeds, and assisted families facing difficulties, yet he also maintained careful planning for his own farm. He saved part of his income for future needs and reinvested in better farming methods because Elias balanced generosity with responsibility. His farm continued growing, and his neighbors appreciated his support. The community respected him not only as a successful farmer, but also as a dependable friend. Another important form of giving is appreciation. Expressing gratitude for services, products, and support strengthens human relationships. Appreciation can be shown through kind words, fair payment, or recognition of effort. A restaurant owner named Shabir practiced this principle by treating his employees with respect. He regularly thanked them for their dedication and rewarded good work with small bonuses and flexible schedules during important family events. The staff responded with loyalty and enthusiasm. Customers noticed the positive atmosphere and often returned to the restaurant because of the friendly service. Shabir culture of appreciation improved both employee satisfaction and business success. Giving also encourages creativity. When people focus on how they can help others, they begin searching for solutions, innovations, and improvements. This mindset leads to ideas that create value for society. An example comes from a young software developer named Hadi who realized that many elderly people struggled to use complicated smartphone applications. Instead of ignoring this challenge, he designed a simplified mobile interface with larger icons and easy navigation. Hadi's intention was to help older users feel comfortable with technology, yet his innovation attracted attention from technology companies and community organizations. The application gained popularity and generated financial opportunities for him. His desire to give practical help inspired a product that improved lives while also creating income. The flow of giving and receiving also strengthens communities when individuals share resources, knowledge, and encouragement. Communities become environments where growth becomes easier for everyone. A neighborhood association once demonstrated this principle when local shop owners decided to organize a weekend market event. They invited artisans, food vendors, musicians, and small businesses to participate. The event attracted visitors from many areas and increased income for everyone involved. By working together and sharing the opportunity, each participant benefited from the collective energy of the community. Giving does not always require large resources. Sometimes simple acts of kindness create meaningful impact. A mentor offering advice, a colleague recommending someone for a job, a friend sharing useful information. Each of these gestures contributes to the circulation of positive energy. A student named Zoya experienced this when a teacher recommended her for an internship at a research center. The teacher believed in her curiosity and dedication and wanted to help her gain practical experience. The internship later led to a full-time position, launching her career in scientific research. One generous recommendation changed the direction of her life and career. Another dimension of the giving and receiving cycle is charity. Supporting those in need reminds society that prosperity carries responsibility. Many successful individuals and organizations dedicate part of their resources to education, healthcare, and humanitarian support. A businessman named Khalid once created a scholarship fund for students from low-income families. He believed that education could transform lives and strengthen the future of the community. Over the years, many students benefited from his support, and some later returned to assist the program as mentors and donors themselves. The act of giving created a chain of generosity that continued expanding beyond the original contribution. The flow of giving and receiving, therefore, reflects a powerful truth: money energy grows stronger when it circulates through service, cooperation, gratitude, and generosity. People who participate in this flow often discover that prosperity becomes more meaningful because it connects success with contribution. Ramon kindness built loyal customers. Samia medical outreach strengthened trust. Danish and Huma collaboration expanded business opportunities. Bashara teaching inspired young engineers. Elias balanced generosity with responsibility. Shabir appreciation created loyal employees. Hadi innovation helped elderly users. Community markets supported local businesses. Zoya received life-changing mentorship. Khalid scholarships empowered students. Each story reveals that giving is not the opposite of receiving, it is the beginning of a cycle where value travels from one person to another, creating networks of opportunity and growth. Individuals understand this principle. They no longer see money as something to guard with fear. They see it as a resource that can move through acts of service, creativity, and generosity. Chapter 7: Resilience during challenges. Every financial journey includes moments of difficulty. Even the most successful individuals experience periods of uncertainty, loss, and unexpected change. Money, as energy, does not always flow smoothly. Sometimes it slows, sometimes it changes direction, and sometimes it tests the patience and strength of those who pursue growth. Understanding this reality is important because many people believe that success should move in a straight line upward. When challenges appear, they feel discouraged and assume that their efforts have failed. Yet the truth is that obstacles are often part of the learning process that prepares individuals for greater responsibility and opportunity. Resilience is the ability to remain steady during these difficult periods. It allows a person to continue learning, adapting, and moving forward even when circumstances feel uncertain. Resilience keeps financial energy alive by preventing fear and disappointment from stopping progress. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur named Adnan, who started a small clothing manufacturing business. He invested his savings into purchasing fabric sewing machines and hiring a few workers. During the first year, his designs gained attention from local retailers and orders increased quickly. Adnan believed that his success would continue without interruption. However, during the second year, a sudden economic slowdown reduced demand for clothing. Retailers canceled orders and many factories closed their operations. Adnan faced serious financial pressure and wondered if his business would survive. At this difficult moment, Adnan had two choices. He could give up and close his workshop, or he could search for new solutions. He decided to remain resilient. Instead of producing large quantities of clothing for retailers, he shifted his focus toward custom orders for individuals' weddings and special events. This adjustment required creativity and patience, yet slowly customers began appreciating the personalized designs. His business survived the crisis and later expanded into a successful boutique brand. Adnan experience showed that resilience transforms challenges into opportunities for reinvention. Another powerful example comes from the life of a woman named Farzana, who managed a small bookstore in her town. She loved literature and believed that reading could enrich the minds of young people. However, when digital media became more popular, many customers stopped visiting traditional bookstores. Farzana worried that her shop would disappear like many others. But instead of accepting defeat, she reimagined her bookstore as a cultural space. She organized reading clubs, storytelling evenings, and writing workshops for students and families. The events attracted visitors who enjoyed gathering around books and creative discussions. Soon the bookstore became a lively community center. Rather than just a place to buy books, Farzana's resilience allowed her to adapt to changing times and maintain both financial stability and cultural contribution. Resilience also appears in personal career journeys. Many professionals face moments when their path becomes uncertain. Take the example of Imad, who worked as a technician in a manufacturing company. After many years of service, the company introduced automated systems that reduced the need for manual technicians. Imad feared that his job might disappear. Instead of waiting helplessly, he decided to upgrade his skills. He enrolled in technical training programs that taught him how to operate and maintain the new automated machines. This learning required effort and patience, but it prepared him for the future. When the company reorganized its workforce, Imad became one of the few employees capable of managing advanced equipment. His willingness to adapt not only protected his job, but also increased his salary and professional respect. His resilience turned a potential threat into a new opportunity. Financial resilience also involves emotional strength. Money challenges can create stress, worry, and self-doubt. People who remain calm and focused during difficult times are better able to find solutions. A restaurant owner named Rashida experienced this when a sudden health crisis reduced customer visits to public dining spaces. Her restaurant, which had been popular for years, suddenly became almost empty. Instead of panicking, Rashida explored alternative ideas. She introduced home delivery services and prepared family meal packages that customers could enjoy safely at home. She also used social media to share cooking tips and maintain connection with her community. These efforts helped her restaurant survive the crisis and maintain loyal customers until normal conditions returned. Her calm thinking allowed her to respond creatively rather than react with fear. Resilience also grows through supportive relationships. People who share challenges with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues often discover encouragement and guidance that helps them continue forward. A young graduate named Noman once struggled to find employment after completing his studies. He felt discouraged and questioned his abilities. During this period, his former professor invited him to assist in a research project at the university. The opportunity allowed Noman to gain practical experience while continuing his job search. Eventually, the research work opened doors to professional connections, and he secured a position in a respected organization. The support of a mentor helped him remain hopeful during a challenging stage of life. Another aspect of resilience is patience. Some financial goals require time to mature. Impatience can cause people to abandon efforts just before results appear. A farmer named Wakas once decided to cultivate fruit trees on part of his land. Fruit trees require several years before producing harvest. Many neighbors doubted his decision because traditional crops offered quicker returns. During the early years, Wakas invested time caring for the trees without receiving immediate profit, yet he believed in the long-term potential of the orchard. After several seasons, the trees began producing abundant fruit, and his farm gained recognition for high-quality produces. His patience transformed a slow beginning into lasting prosperity. Resilience also includes learning from failure. Failure often carries valuable lessons about planning, communication, and strategy. An engineer named Sanola once launched a technology startup with great enthusiasm, but the company struggled because the team underestimated market needs and financial management. The project eventually closed, leaving him disappointed. Instead of allowing the failure to define his future, Sanola analyzed the mistakes. He studied business management, marketing, and leadership skills. Before starting a new venture several years later, his second company succeeded because he applied the lessons learned from the Yase. First attempt failure became a teacher rather than an ending. Resilience does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that difficulties are easy. It means acknowledging reality while refusing to surrender hope and effort. Resilient individuals continue searching for possibilities even when the path becomes uncertain. Adnan redesigned his clothing business. Farzana transformed her bookstore. Imad upgraded his technical skills. Rashida adapted her restaurant services. Noman found guidance through mentorship. Waqas waited patiently for his orchard to grow, and Sanola turned failure into wisdom. These stories reveal that resilience strengthens the flow of financial energy. When people remain flexible, determined, and open to learning, they protect their progress during difficult periods and prepare themselves for future growth. Money energy responds not only to ambition, but also to endurance. Those who persist through challenges develop deeper experience, stronger character, and greater wisdom qualities that often attract long-term success. Chapter 8: Sustaining and Growing Wealth. Attracting money is an important achievement, yet the journey does not end when financial success begins. Many people experience moments of prosperity, but later lose stability because they do not understand how to sustain and grow their resources. True financial wisdom involves maintaining balance, discipline, and long-term thinking. Money as energy must continue moving in thoughtful ways. When people manage it with awareness, it supports security, opportunity, and freedom. But when it is handled carelessly, it can disappear quickly, regardless of how much was earned in the beginning. The foundation of sustaining wealth begins with responsibility. Responsible individuals treat money not only as a reward for effort, but also as a resource that must be protected, developed, and guided toward meaningful goals. Consider the story of a businessman named Harun, who built a successful construction company during his early career. His projects expanded rapidly, and his income increased significantly. However, during the first years of prosperity, he spent most of his earnings on luxury items, expensive vehicles, and lavish celebrations. For a while, life appeared glamorous, yet when a period of economic slowdown arrived, Harun discovered that he had very little savings to support his company or his family. The experience taught him a difficult lesson about financial discipline. After this challenge, Harun reorganized his approach. He created a clear system for saving, investing, and managing expenses. He reinvested profits into improving his company equipment and training his employees. Within a few years, his business regained stability and continued growing. Harun learned that sustaining wealth requires thoughtful management rather than temporary excitement. Another powerful example comes from the life of a teacher named Shahnaz, who spent many years working in public education. Her salary was moderate, but she practiced careful financial planning. Every month she saved a small portion of her income and invested it in safe long-term opportunities. Her friends sometimes wondered why she remained disciplined when others spent freely, yet Shahnaz believed that consistent habits create future security. After several decades of teaching, she had accumulated enough savings to live comfortably during retirement and also support charitable educational programs. Her steady planning demonstrated that wealth does not always depend on high income. It often depends on wise management and patience. Growing wealth also requires continuous learning. Financial environments change over time. Markets evolve, technology advances, and new opportunities appear. People who remain curious and informed are better prepared to adapt their strategies, a young investor named Kemal understood this principle when he first entered the world of finance. He began with small investments and spent many evenings reading about economic trends, business models, and responsible investing. Instead of chasing quick profits, he focused on understanding how different industries operated and how long-term value could develop. His careful research helped him make thoughtful decisions, and gradually his investments expanded into a stable portfolio that supported his family and future. Project Kemal's success was not based on luck, but on the habit of continuous education. Another essential part of sustaining wealth is balance between spending and saving. Money is meant to improve quality of life, yet uncontrolled spending can weaken financial security. Wise individuals learn to enjoy their resources while also protecting their future. A chef named Tarika experienced this lesson when her restaurant became extremely popular during its early years. The sudden income encouraged her to spend heavily on decoration, luxury equipment, and personal entertainment. After consulting a financial advisor, Tarika realized that long-term success required balance. She began allocating income carefully, part for business development, part for savings, and part for personal enjoyment. This structured approach helped her restaurant remain profitable for many years and allowed her to expand into additional locations. Another dimension of sustaining wealth involves ethical behavior. Trust is one of the most valuable assets in business and professional life. People who build reputations for honesty, reliability, and fairness often attract loyal clients and partners. Merchant named Kazim operated a wholesale grain business for decades. He believed strongly in fair pricing, transparent agreements, and respectful treatment of suppliers and buyers. Because of his integrity, many farmers preferred selling their crops through Kasim network, even when competitors offered temporary incentives. His reputation for fairness created stable relationships that protected his business through changing market conditions. Ethical conduct, therefore, becomes a powerful investment in long-term prosperity. Growing wealth also includes supporting innovation and improvement. When individuals reinvest part of their resources into new ideas, technology, or training, they strengthen the foundation of their future success. An example can be seen in the journey of a manufacturing entrepreneur named Hadia. She owned a small textile factory producing traditional fabrics. Instead of relying only on established methods, she invested in modern weaving machines and trained her workers to operate them efficiently. The improved production allowed her factory to reach new markets and compete internationally. Her willingness to innovate ensured that her business remained relevant in a changing industry. Another important aspect of sustaining wealth is diversification. Placing all financial energy into a single source can create vulnerability if that source faces unexpected problems. Spreading resources across different activities, investments, or skills can provide stability. Professional photographer named Salman practiced diversification by offering multiple services, including event photography, portrait sessions, and online photography courses. This approach protected his income because when one type of project slowed, another often continued. Generating revenue diversification created resilience and allowed him to maintain consistent financial flow. Long-term prosperity also grows through mentorship and knowledge sharing. People who achieve success often strengthen their legacy by guiding others. Younger entrepreneurs, professionals, and students benefit greatly from experienced mentors. A retired businesswoman named Farida devoted part of her time to mentoring young women who wanted to start their own enterprises. She shared practical lessons about planning, budgeting, marketing, and leadership. Many of her mentees later built successful businesses, and some partnered with her on community projects. Her willingness to share wisdom multiplied the impact of her own achievements. Sustaining wealth also involves maintaining personal well-being. Financial success loses meaning if it damages health, relationships, or inner peace. Individuals who maintain balanced lifestyles often make better decisions and enjoy their prosperity more fully. A corporate executive named Navid once worked extremely long hours in pursuit of career advancement. His income increased rapidly, but his health and family relationships began suffering. After reflecting on his priorities, Navid adjusted his schedule to include exercise, family time, and personal reflection. This balance improved his energy and clarity, allowing him to lead his organization more effectively while enjoying a fulfilling personal life. True wealth includes harmony between financial security, physical health, emotional connection, and meaningful purpose. Generational planning also plays a role in sustaining prosperity. Many families lose wealth across generations because knowledge and responsibility are not shared with younger members. Teaching financial literacy, ethical values, and disciplined habits helps ensure that future generations manage resources wisely. A landowner named Bashir practiced this principle by involving his children in discussions about farm management, budgeting, and environmental stewardship. They learned not only how to operate the farm, but also why careful planning and respect for nature were essential. When Bashir eventually passed leadership to his children, the farm continued thriving because they understood both the practical and moral responsibilities connected with their inheritance. The stories of Harun, Shahnaz, Kamal, Tariqa, Qasim, Hadia, Salman, Farida, Navid, and Bashir reveal that sustaining wealth requires a combination of discipline, learning, ethics, balance, and vision. Prosperity grows strongest when individuals treat money not merely as a reward, but as a tool for building stability, opportunity, and contribution. Money, energy that is guided wisely, can support families, inspire innovation, strengthen communities, and create lasting impact across generations. Chapter 9. Creating your personal path to financial energy. Throughout the journey of understanding money as energy, many ideas have appeared: mindset, intention, action, generosity, resilience, and discipline. Each of these elements becomes powerful when they are combined into a personal path. Every individual lives in different circumstances, possesses different talents, and carries unique dreams. Therefore, the journey toward financial abundance must be shaped according to personal values, strengths, and experiences. Creating a personal path begins with self-awareness. When a person understands their abilities, interests, and motivations, they can choose opportunities that align with their natural energy. People who work in areas that match their curiosity and passion often develop stronger dedication and creativity. Consider the story of a young man named Saif, who spent several years working in various temporary jobs. He moved from one position to another without feeling satisfied or successful. Eventually, he realized that he had never taken time to understand what truly interested him. Saif decided to reflect on his experiences. He noticed that he always enjoyed repairing bicycles and helping friends maintain their bikes. He understood the mechanical details easily and felt proud when he solved technical problems. This realization, he began learning more about bicycle mechanics and opened a small repair station near a public park where many people enjoyed cycling. At first, the business was modest, but Saif's dedication and genuine interest attracted customers. Over time, his repair station expanded into a full-service bicycle shop, selling accessories and organizing community cycling events. Saif's journey began with the simple step of recognizing his natural abilities and aligning his work with them. Another important part of creating a personal financial path is setting meaningful goals. Goals act like guiding stars. They help individuals measure progress and maintain motivation during long journeys. A university student named Mira practiced this principle when she decided that she wanted to build a career in environmental research. She created clear goals for the coming years, including completing advanced studies, publishing research, and contributing to sustainable development projects. Her goals guided daily decisions about how she spent time, which skills she developed, and which opportunities she pursued. After several years of dedication, she became part of an international research team working on renewable energy solutions. Clarity of her goals directed her energy toward a fulfilling career that also provided financial stability. Personal paths toward abundance also require the courage to begin even when conditions are not perfect. Many successful individuals started with limited resources but strong determination. Take the example of a young baker named Hamza, who dreamed of opening a bakery specializing in traditional desserts. He had talent, but lacked enough money to rent a large shop. Instead of abandoning the idea, he began baking from his home kitchen and selling desserts through local markets and community gatherings. Customers enjoyed his recipes and gradually demand increased. After saving profits for several years, Hamza opened a small bakery that later became a popular destination for families celebrating special occasions. His willingness to begin with simple steps allowed his dream to grow steadily. Another key element of a personal financial path is adaptability. The world changes constantly, technology advances, markets evolve, and new challenges appear. Individuals who remain flexible can adjust their strategies while still pursuing their larger vision. A graphic designer named Amina experienced this when traditional print design projects began declining due to digital media growth. Instead of resisting the change, she decided to learn digital animation and online branding techniques. This new knowledge allowed her to offer services to modern businesses seeking digital marketing support. Her career expanded into new creative areas, and her income increased because she adapted to the evolving landscape. Amina's story shows that adaptability keeps financial energy flowing even when external conditions shift. Support networks also play a valuable role in personal growth. Mentors, colleagues, friends, and family can provide encouragement, advice, and collaboration during difficult moments. A young engineer named Rafiq benefited greatly from such support during the early years of his career. He often discussed his professional challenges with a group of experienced engineers who shared practical guidance about project management and career development. Their insights helped him avoid costly mistakes and recognize opportunities that he might have missed alone. Eventually, Rafiq became a respected engineer leading complex infrastructure projects. The presence of supportive mentors strengthened his journey toward success. Another important step in creating a personal path toward abundance is practicing gratitude. Gratitude reminds individuals to appreciate progress and maintain positive energy even during slow periods. A freelance writer named Sophia experienced this during the early stages of her career when assignments were limited. She sometimes felt discouraged, but she began keeping a journal where she recorded each achievement, even small ones such as completing a challenging article or receiving positive feedback from a client. This habit helped her stay motivated and recognize that progress was happening gradually over time. Her reputation grew, and she began receiving consistent writing opportunities from magazines and organizations. Gratitude allowed Sophia to maintain confidence while building her career. Step-by-step financial planning also supports a strong personal path toward abundance when individuals track income, expenses, savings, and investments. They gain clarity about their financial position. This clarity helps them make wiser decisions and prepare for future goals. An architect named Zubair followed this practice carefully. He maintained detailed records of his earnings, project expenses, and savings plans. This discipline allowed him to manage both personal finances and professional investments responsibly. When an opportunity appeared to purchase land for a new architectural studio, Zubair was financially prepared because of his consistent planning. His new studio later became a thriving design center. Another powerful aspect of a personal financial journey is contribution. People often discover deeper satisfaction when their work benefits others. Communities grow stronger when individuals use their talents to solve problems and create value. A social entrepreneur named Nadia built a company that trained women in rural areas to produce handmade textiles. The project provided income opportunities for many families while preserving traditional craftsmanship. Nadia's business success was closely connected with her desire to create positive social change. The combination of purpose and entrepreneurship strengthened both her financial success and her sense of fulfillment. Maintaining integrity also remains essential in personal financial journeys. Individuals who build careers based on honesty, reliability, and respect create reputations that attract long-term trust. Lawyer named Irfan followed this principle carefully throughout his career. He treated every client with fairness and transparency, even when cases were difficult or less profitable. Over time, his reputation for ethical conduct became widely respected, and clients sought his services because they trusted his judgment. Integrity, therefore, became one of the most valuable assets in his professional life. Personal growth continues throughout the financial journey. People who regularly reflect on their experiences improve their strategies and maintain curiosity, often discover new possibilities. Saif discovered his mechanical talent. Mira followed clear academic goals. Hamza began his bakery with simple resources. Amina adapted to digital design. Rafiq benefited from mentorship. Sophia practiced gratitude. Zubair used careful financial planning. Nadia combined entrepreneurship with social purpose, and Irfan built success through integrity. Each story shows that there is no single formula for attracting financial abundance. Instead, each person must design a path that aligns mindset, action, values, learning, and contribution. Money as energy responds to authenticity. When individuals pursue goals that reflect their genuine abilities and intentions, their work becomes more meaningful and opportunities appear more naturally. Chapter 10. Living in the Energy of Abundance. The journey of understanding money as energy leads to a powerful realization. Abundance is not only about financial numbers. It is a way of living, thinking, and interacting with the world. When people align their mindset, actions, relationships, and purpose with positive energy, they begin to experience prosperity, not only in money, but also in confidence, freedom, and meaningful contribution. Living in the energy of abundance means recognizing that life constantly offers opportunities for growth, learning, and service. People who adopt this perspective no longer chase wealth with anxiety. They focus on creating value, developing skills, and building connections that naturally attract financial flow. One important quality of abundant living is awareness. Awareness allows individuals to observe their habits, decisions, and emotions around money without fear. When people become aware of their financial behavior, they can adjust patterns that limit progress and strengthen habits that support growth. Consider the story of a man named Khalid who once struggled with managing his income. He worked hard, but often spent money, impulsively leaving little for savings or future planning. After reflecting on his situation, Khalid decided to observe his financial habits carefully. He began recording his daily expenses and evaluating which purchases truly improved his life. This simple awareness helped him reduce unnecessary spending and redirect resources toward investments and skill development. Over time, his financial condition improved, and he felt greater control over his future. Khalid experience showed that awareness is the first step toward living with abundance. Another essential aspect of abundant living is gratitude. Gratitude reminds people to appreciate the present moment and the resources they already possess. When individuals constantly focus on what they lack, they create feelings of scarcity. But when they recognize what they have, they cultivate positive energy that encourages creativity and motivation. A teacher named Miriam practiced gratitude daily. She began each morning by reflecting on the opportunities she had to educate young minds and contribute to society. This simple habit filled her with enthusiasm for her work and inspired her to create engaging learning experiences for her students. Parents and school administrators noticed her dedication and eventually invited her to lead educational training programs. Her gratitude strengthened her energy and opened new professional paths. Living in abundance also involves generosity. Generosity is not measured by the size of a gift, but by the intention behind it. People who share time, knowledge, encouragement, and resources strengthen the bonds that connect communities. A small business owner named Hamid demonstrated this spirit when he organized apprenticeship programs for young people interested in learning his trade. He believed that teaching skills could empower the next generation. Many apprentices later became successful professionals, and some even returned to collaborate with Hamid on new projects. His willingness to share knowledge created a network of trust, respect, and opportunity. Another important part of abundant living is continuous growth. Individuals who keep learning remain adaptable in a world that constantly changes. New technologies, new industries, and new challenges appear every year. People who welcome learning are able to transform these changes into opportunities. A young scientist named Sana followed this philosophy throughout her career. She regularly attended conferences, read research journals, and collaborated with experts from different fields. Her curiosity allowed her to contribute innovative ideas to environmental science projects. Dedication to learning brought recognition, funding opportunities, and the chance to lead international research initiatives. Abundance in her life grew through knowledge and exploration. Abundant living also requires balance. Financial success should support a healthy and fulfilling life rather than replace it. People who nurture their physical health, emotional relationships, and personal values create a foundation where prosperity can flourish without stress or emptiness. A successful entrepreneur named Tariq once focused entirely on expanding his company. He worked tirelessly and achieved impressive profits, yet he realized that his personal life was becoming disconnected from family and well-being. After reflecting on his priorities, Tariq introduced balance into his routine. He reserved time for family activities, exercise, and community service. This balance improved his happiness and clarity, enabling him to lead his business with greater creativity and calmness. His story shows that abundance includes harmony between professional ambition and personal fulfillment. Another dimension of living in the energy of abundance is resilience. Resilient individuals understand that challenges are temporary and that every difficulty carries lessons. When obstacles appear, they remain patient and search for solutions instead of surrendering to discouragement. A farmer named Rashid faced severe drought conditions that threatened his crops. Many farmers in the region lost hope, but Rashid decided to experiment with water-conserving irrigation methods and drought-resistant plants. His efforts required determination, but eventually his farm survived the harsh season and even became a model for sustainable agriculture in the region. Resilience transformed adversity into innovation and long-term success. Living abundantly also involves vision. People who imagine positive futures, inspire others, and motivate themselves to take constructive action. Vision encourages individuals to set meaningful goals and move toward them with enthusiasm. A community leader named Farah once dreamed of building a cultural center where artists, musicians, and writers could share their talents with the public. She began organizing small events in local halls, inviting creative individuals to perform and display their work. As interest grew, supporters donated resources and volunteers offered their help. Eventually, the community established a vibrant cultural center that hosted exhibitions, workshops, and performances. Farah's vision brought creative abundance to the entire neighborhood. Another key principle of abundant living is integrity. Integrity means aligning actions with values. People who maintain honesty, fairness, and respect build reputations that attract long-term trust. Trust becomes a powerful source of financial and social prosperity. A consultant named Zaid followed strict ethical standards in every project. He advised clients honestly, even when it meant recommending solutions that reduced his own short-term profit over time. Clients appreciated his sincerity and continued working with him for many years. Integrity strengthened his professional reputation and ensured steady success throughout his career. Abundance also grows through appreciation of progress. People who celebrate milestones along their journey maintain enthusiasm and motivation. Every step forward deserves recognition because it reflects effort, learning, and perseverance. A musician named Alaya practiced this principle as she developed her career. She celebrated each performance, each new song, and each audience member who appreciated her music. These moments reminded her that growth was happening, even when fame or large income had not yet arrived. Eventually, her dedication attracted wider attention, and her music reached listeners around the world. But she always remembered that success was built through many small victories along the way. Living in the energy of abundance means understanding that money is only one expression of prosperity. True abundance includes creativity, purpose, relationships, knowledge, health, and contribution. When these elements align, financial growth often follows naturally, because people who live with positive energy inspire trust, cooperation, and opportunity. Khaled gained awareness of financial habits. Mariam practiced gratitude. Hamid empowered apprentices. Sana pursued lifelong learning. Tariq balanced business and family. Rashid transformed drought through resilience. Farah created a cultural vision. Zaid built trust through integrity. And Alaya celebrated progress through passion. Their stories demonstrate that abundance is not reserved for a few extraordinary individuals. It becomes available to anyone who chooses to cultivate positive mindset, purposeful action, generosity, resilience, and balance. When people live in harmony with these principles, money energy flows more freely because it is guided by wisdom, intention, and contribution. The journey toward prosperity becomes not only a pursuit of wealth, but also a path of personal growth and meaningful service. The understanding that money is energy ultimately leads to a simple yet powerful truth. When individuals align their thoughts, actions, and values with abundance, they create lives that attract opportunity, support others, and build lasting prosperity for themselves and the communities around them. Conclusion. The journey through understanding money as energy reveals that financial abundance is not merely a matter of luck or hard work. It is a dynamic interplay of mindset, intention, inspired action, generosity, resilience, and thoughtful management. Money responds to clarity, focus, and positive energy. When people align their actions with purpose and values, they naturally attract opportunities that support growth and prosperity. Throughout this journey, we explored the importance of intention and focus, which guide energy toward meaningful goals. We learned how inspired action transforms ideas into reality. Small deliberate steps compound over time, creating momentum that opens doors for success. We discovered the power of an abundance mindset, which shifts perspective from fear and limitation toward possibility, learning, and collaboration. We also explored the flow of giving and receiving, understanding that generosity, knowledge sharing, and contribution strengthen both personal prosperity and community well-being. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, yet resilience allows individuals to adapt, grow, and maintain momentum during difficult periods. Sustaining wealth requires disciplined planning, continuous learning, and ethical behavior, while living in the energy of abundance integrates all these principles into daily life, creating balance, harmony, and fulfillment. Real-life stories from Zane building his service center to Sana, developing a jewelry business from curiosity, from Haris embracing opportunity to Farah creating a cultural center, from Rashid innovating through drought to Khalid practicing financial awareness, show that the path toward prosperity is as much about character, creativity, and service as it is about money itself. The ultimate truth is that money is energy. It flows where attention, intention, and action are focused. It expands when shared thoughtfully and contracts when hoarded or feared. By aligning mindset, effort, and contribution, anyone can attract financial abundance while cultivating a life of purpose, freedom, and meaningful connection. This framework is not a one-size-fits-all prescription, but a guide to help individuals design their own path toward prosperity by observing their own abilities, setting meaningful goals, taking inspired action, maintaining resilience. By embracing these principles, every person can transform their relationship with money from mere survival into a dynamic tool for growth, empowerment, and contribution, creating a life that is not only prosperous, but also rich in purpose, fulfillment, and positive impact on the world around them. The end.
Kindly subscribe to my channel.